We are here in Monte Carlo, our annual trek to get a sense of what entrepreneurs are thinking. Joining me today is the Global Chief of EY, Mark Weinberger. Mark, good to have you back on the program. So what does 2017 feel like, business confidence-wise, growth-wise, outlook, looking any better?
That's it? That's all you want to know? Well, you tell me how much more political uncertainty we can live with, and I can answer your question.
Is that the #1 risk today?
It is. I mean, the economy is generally picking up. I mean, around the world, we've seen for the first time in 6 years, the IMF, the World Bank, all increased the projected growth rates. Emerging markets, of course, is doing even better than developed markets. But you're seeing strength across Europe, particularly Germany, France, and Spain. The U.S., there's lots of optimism. I just came from the U.S. to get here, and the business leaders there say if the economic agenda the president's put forward were to happen, they expect to hire a lot more. They expect to invest in capital equipment a lot more. China, we have a pause on some of the reforms as we're looking at the 19th Communist Congress meeting later this year. ASEAN continues to be strong. So generally, I think not a lot of growth, but more optimism because the downside is less.
Okay, the downside is less. But let me ask you about political uncertainty. And we've just had the event in the UK, the elections not throwing up a majority for Theresa May. What do you believe this is going to mean for the Brexit? And what does it do now to investor sentiment?
Well, so obviously it's really early to know the answer to that question, but all this uncertainty is a big tax on business because it is harder for businesses to make decisions not knowing what the ultimate effect of Brexit is going to be. So they're duplicate planning. They're looking to see how they can expand in the UK because it's still a very strong and very good market, but how do they have systems set up across Europe that they may have to utilize as Brexit occurs? Similar, in the United States, obviously, we're seeing when will the economic agenda happen. In India, Prime Minister, of course, has put forward many initiatives. When will they actually take effect? So the business is watching, but they continue to invest and continue to hire.
President Trump, the big corporate tax cut, we're still awaiting details, we're still awaiting clarity on the timing. What's the expectation in corporate America? And if that were to happen, what kind of a multiplier will it be for growth?
So again, this is a big deal for the United States. If the President's agenda, tax reform, again, the most recent survey just last month by the business leaders, the biggest companies in America said they would invest significantly more, hire significantly more if we continue with deregulation, if the tax cut does happen, and if infrastructure is actually invested in. To the contrary, if it doesn't happen, they will have to slow down. So there's a big wait and see what's going to happen there. I think there's optimism that this could still happen. Obviously, there's a lot of theatrics going on in Washington, as there is everywhere. But the economic agenda is moving forward. The deregulation is coming first, more and more each day. The tax reform is set to happen this fall. And while we know they're looking at lower rates and a more competitive international system, there's still a lot to be determined.